Hello and welcome back. Today we are looking at lesson 1.4, multiplying whole numbers. This lesson is recorded as part of the series for Math 020 course taught at St. Louis Community College. This video is recorded by Dr. Victoria Shearing. We're going to look at the first some properties of multiplication, and then we will look at multiplying numbers, formalize some rules, and then practice a few problems. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the multiplication property of 0, which says that any number multiplied by a 0 will give us a 0. A times 0 equals 0. So you can create a couple of examples. Let's say 12 times 0 is a 0. So is 82 times 0 equals 0. So that is the multiplication property of 0. The next one is the identity property of multiplication. Think of it as your identity does not normally change. So that means that if you multiply a number by a 1, you're going to have that same number. A times 1 equals A. So a couple of examples here. Let's do 5 times 1 equals 5, or 922 times 1, it's still 922. Okay, so that's the identity property of multiplication. For the commutative property of multiplication, it's very similar similar to commutative property of addition. So let's look at the pairs of products. You have 3 pairs. 4 times 7 is 28, but so is 7 times 4. 9 times 7 is 63, but so is 7 times 9. And finally, 8 times 9 is 72, and 9 times 8 is 72. So just like we did with addition, when you multiply two numbers, the order is not important. So the commutative property of multiplication says A times B is the same as B times A. And then you can create your own example. I am going to use, this is too big, this is too small. I am going to use maybe 5 times 4. So 5 times 4 equals 20, and 4 times 5 equals 20. All right. Staying with the same format that we did last time with the addition and subtraction, multiplication has its own words that they uses. Times normally would be indicate the multiplication, and here I gave you 3 different ways how different textbooks and online programs use multiplication symbol. You can do 3 with a little cross times 8. You can use a dot, or you can use asterisks. They're all pretty much the same. They all mean multiplication. Then the next important part that I want to highlight is the name of the result of multiplication. We call it a product. So when I say the product of 3 and 8, I mean multiply 3 times 8. And then there is a really special word for the multiplication, which is twice. So if I say twice 8 or double 8, it means you're multiplying by 2, only by 2. So that's a very special number. Okay, so to multiply whole numbers. Okay, so in step 1, you are going to write the numbers so that each place value lines up vertically. So you're going to line it up on the right. Okay, so again, place value keeps coming up. That's the reason why we started with reviewing the place value in numbers. In step number 2, you need to, and it is a big task sometimes, multiply the digits in each place value. Basically what it says, you need to multiply every digit of the first number by every digit of the second number. Sometimes it's really hard to keep track of it. So what we do is, working from right to left, starting with the ones digits in the top number, then by tens digits in, and so on. But you are actually, what you are doing, you keep an eye on the bottom number, and you're going to, so you're going to grab the right digit of the bottom number and multiply it by every digit in the top number, starting from the right. Now, if the product has a place value is more than 9, carry to the next place value. So we've seen that with addition, so nothing is new here. But then write the partial products. So each line of multiplication, if you're multiplying by a 2-digit number, is called partial products. So you're going to line up the digits in that place with the numbers above. And then repeat for the tens place of the bottom number, hundreds, and so on. So repeat for all the digits in the bottom number. Insert a 0 as a placeholder with each additional partial product, if you need to. And then step 3, add the partial products. All right. So let's go ahead and do a few problems, and then hopefully it will get a little bit better. So 45 times 6. So look at the second number. Look at how the numbers are lined up. 45 is a 2-digit number, 6 is a 1-digit number, and you lined up the ones with ones. So, and then you take the 6. Now you're working from the bottom number, from the second number. 6, and you're going to multiply it by a 5, and then you're going to multiply it by a 4. So 6 times 5 is a 30. Okay? So I can only put the 1 digit in the 1-digit place. So I'm going to have to, I had to carry over that 3. And now when when I multiply 6 times 4, I will add the 3 to the result. So 6 times 4 is 24, and then I had that carry over 33 from the previous multiplication. So 24 plus 3 is 27, and that's what gets written as the final answer. So that's a multiplication by one number. Now we're going to graduate into the double digits. So we're going to do 88 times 42. Okay, so the numbers are lined up. And now we're starting with the 2. So you always start with the bottom number. Starting with the 2, start multiplying. 8 times 2 is 16. All right, so this one that I put up there means that when I multiply 8 times 2 again, I will add, it will be additional digit, additional number added to the partial product. So 8 times 2 is 16, plus that 1 gives me 17, and here's my 17. I can't put 17 in there because there is nothing in front of 8, so I am free to write the two-digit number because there's nothing in front of that number. So then I'm going to repeat the process again. So I'm going to get rid of that 1 so it doesn't confuse me. So 4 times 8 is 32. So I'm going to get 3 there. And then notice that once I started working on the tens digit, the first answer is going to be in the tens digit. That's why we're lining up the numbers. So the second 4 times 8 is 32, but then I need to add that 3, that lingering 3 from the previous answer to the 32 to get 35. So now I have 2 partial products. You have a 2-digit number that you're multiplying by. You're going to have 2 partial products. So now we're going to add those together. Step 3, 6, 9, 6, and 3. And that is how you do multiplication. So I'm going to, because I need some space, we're going to do the 3 numbers by 3 numbers multiplication. All right, so part C, you need 591 times 227. All right, so numbers are lined up. Starting with the 7, let's go ahead and multiply it by 1, then by 9, then by 5. So 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 9 is 63. So 6 up. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 plus 6 is 41. All right. So the first partial product is 4137. Move on to the next one. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18, so 1 up. And then 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1, 11. Okay. So we got the second partial product. Now we need the third one. So again, we repeat the process. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 9, 18, 1 up, and 2 times 5 is 10, which gives us 11. So notice that you had two of the same numbers, and you got two of the same partial products. I did not have to multiply it. I could have just written that 1182 by shifting one digit over. So now I'm going to add. You have the 7, 3 plus 2 is 5, 1 plus 8 plus 2 is 11, so I carry over 1. So 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 8 is a 14, so 1 carry over. You got a 3 and you got a 1. So the answer to C is 134,157. So next problem is 426 times 110. So part D. Get rid of this. 426 times 110. All right, so some of you will know, some of you don't need to use the 0. But for the sake of keeping everything organized, if you have a 0, 0 times any number is going to give you a 0. So we can fill the first partial product with zeros. Alternatively, you can go to multiplying by 1 as long as you make sure that you put the first answer in the correct place. You're still going to have that 0. So 1 times 6 is a 6, 1 times 2 is a 2, and 1 times 4 is a 4. So 426. And then switch over because it's another 1. So all you need to do is shift the same numbers over. So now you have 3 partial products. Now you're going to add them together. So to get 46,860. Okay. So next one is find the product of 709, 709, and 306. So part E, 709 times 306. So this one's a little bit easier and trickier as well. So let's start with, again, we start by lining our numbers up, and then start with the 6, multiplying 6 by the 9, 0, and the 7. So if I do 6 times 9, I have 54. Okay? So, and I do not need to write the 5 here because 0 times 6 is a 0. So I can just write the 54 here. Let me go over this one more time, because I had questions like this in class. So 6 times 9 is 54. Watch what happens if I put 5 up, right? So I do 6 times 0 is a 0 plus 5 is a 5. So if you have a 0 in the next digit, you do not need to create that little carry over. You can just put the double digit right there because you know that 6 times 0 is going to be a 0. And then 6 times 7 is 42. Again, I don't need to carry over anything because this is where my number ends, and I can always write the next number to the left of it. So then the next one is, the next digit is a 0. So I'm going to write the 3 zeros here just as a place value, and then I'm going to repeat the process with a 3. So the first answer and the 3 is going to come after 2 and a 0 right here in this column. So again, 3 times 9 is 27. So I can write 27. Wow, why can I do that? Because 3 times 0 is a 0, so I can put the 2 in there. I know the next digit right here is going to be multiplication. It's going to give me a 0 plus 2. And then 3 times 7 is 21. So 4, 5, 9, 6, 1, 2. 216,954 is the answer to your part E. So looks like we have a couple of word problems here, and that will be the end of our lesson. So in example 2, you're asked to set up a calculation and solve for each of the following problems. The main library has 60 tables with 16 chairs each in the study area. How many students can be seated at one time? So one table seats 16 people, and you have 60 tables. So 60 times 16 will give you that answer. Okay, so I'm going to switch these numbers. So I have 0, 0, and then 6 times 6 is 36, not the 3, 36. And 6 times 1 is a 6, and another 3 is a 9. 0, 6, 960 people can be set up in there. Okay, so here's the last one. Andrea is making potato salad for a buffet luncheon. The recipe says it makes 4 servings per pound of potatoes. If she buys 20 pounds, how many servings of potato salad will she be able to make? So you have 20 pounds. Each one makes 4 servings. That would get you 80 servings. Thank you for watching. That concludes our lesson 1.4.